Right, I think we should just start doing the podcast right now.
Yeah.
Let's do some podcasts. Listeners, I want to first of all, welcome back to the Cricket Council podcast. India won another game of Test match cricket against England and it finished on Saturday. Just Rayan's with me at the moment. Luke is at work, but he's a very happy Indian fan. I am actually don't really care anymore England fan. But more importantly, do you want a jingle for the Cricket Council podcast? Please comment yes under the Spotify thing, or also yes or no on the YouTube comments. Raymond, why are India so much better than England?
Yeah. Firstly, I learned a new word to describe the fifth test match. India trounced England in the fifth test. I think that's a correct word.
So Rayan's been in his thesaurus looking for new words. Brilliant. Good to know.
Yeah. Right from the start, firstly, we can talk about the toss. So in this series, toss played a crucial role. And for the third time, Ben Stokes won the crucial toss in the series. But sadly, the England team didn't capitalize the toss. And the openers were great. They had a great partnership. 100 for one before Ollie Pope lost its wickets in the last ball before lunch. And after that is...
Oh, God, yeah, the Ollie Pope dismissal. That feels like an age ago. Yeah.
And the thing is, Dhruv Jurel predicted that early before the ball. In Hindi, he just commented he's going to step down to the bowler. And as correctly, Ali Pope just steps down the wicket and missed the googly by Kuldeep Yadav and got stumped.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. So, hang on, what happened? So if we're going back to the start, I've got the scorecard up for England's first innings. Zach Crawley made a lovely 79. And then he got bowled through the gate. Was it through the gate?
Yeah, bowled through the gate.
Coming forward, right? Was it coming forward?
Going for the drive on drive.
Yeah, I remember. Ben Duckett got 27. Ollie Pope got 11. Joe Root got 26. Johnny Bairstow got quickfire 29. Ben Stokes got 0. We'll come to him.
Okay.
Ben Folkes got 24. Harley got 6. Wood got 0. Bashir got 11 red. And James Anderson got 0. India's first innings, they got a lot of runs. Jaiswal 57, Rowett and Shutman 100s. Padikkal, nice debut 65. Zafar Khan, pretty good 56. Ravinder Jadeja 15, Dhruv Jurel 15, and the tail did some wagging. And then to the business end, England got absolutely rolled for 175. Crawley got 0, Duckett got 2, Pope got 11. No, he didn't. Pope got 19. Rue got a pretty good 84. That went under the radar. Rightly went under the radar. Yeah. Bairstow got 39. Ben Stokes got 2. Folkes got 8. Hartley got a 20. And Wood got 0. And Bashir got 13. And Anderson got 0. I mean,
you perfectly read all the scorecards.
Well, thank you. It's not some. That's probably the first win for England in a while.
Yeah.
Amateur journalist reading out the scores correctly, apart from Pope. Rayan, what was your favourite bit? What was the bit that turned you on the most of all of this demolition?
Ravichandran Ashwin's 5-4 in the second innings in his 100th test match. That's a great sight to watch. As a cricket fan from Tamil Nadu, a first player from Tamil Nadu representing India in 100th test and picking a 5-4, and the only player in the cricket who picks 9 wickets in his 100th test match.
Yep.
That's a great record to have as a cricketer.
Yeah, that's a debate. Who had a better 100th test match? Young Johnny Bairstow or Ashwin? I would be inclined to go with the latter.
So I saw Johnny Bairstow mostly used this test match for his preparation to the IPL. He played like that.
Yep.
He scored some quick fire 6s, 4s. And the thing is, he plays for Kings XI Punjab. Mm-hmm. And I think Kings XI Punjab plays 2 or 3 games in the same ground. So I think he took this match as a preparation for the IPL rather than playing Test match.
Yeah.
Whereas Ash now, even before the match, there was a lot of hype for his 100th Test match, and the BCCI gave some guard of honor, and Rahul Dravid, our Indian cricket coach, gave the 100th Test match cap in front of his family, gave a heartwarming speech about his past, how he came back from the streets of Tamil Nadu to Dharamshala for his 100th Test, and that's so heartwarming. After that, R. Ashwin just reducing the England tail in the first innings, and with a new ball in the second innings, he took 5 wickets. That's a perfect for his 100th Test match.
And he's leading wicket taker in the series. That's what so Ashwin just that sort of epitomises the greats amongst us. Is I feel like I haven't spoken about him much for the first four Test match, for the pods on the first 4 Test matches. So he's not been
the best,
the big talking point. Has he been India's best bowler? We can debate that if I really want to just feel even more miserable.
Yeah. I think.
And yeah, he's leading wicket take. Well, hang on. Should we have a little look at how many more? Okay. I'm going to have a look on.
I think he took 24 wickets in the series. And second one is Tom Hartley with 21.
Fair play to Hartley.
But the thing is, R. Ashwin picks his last 14 wickets in the 3 innings.
Yeah.
So it just sums up how he comes after his. He went back to Chennai because of his mother's health, and then he came back, like a king.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was Ravi Ashwin, 26 wickets in the series, and averaging 24.80. It's just like insane numbers, really.
Yeah.
Hartley took 22, an average of 36, and Bumrah got 19. Guess what his average was?
Maybe 18 or 17.
Yeah. Fuck. Hell, you nailed it. He's averaged 16.89, so basically 17. It's just they're so good. They're so good at home.
He played only 4 tests.
And he played only 4 tests, so he probably would have had at least up to sort of 23 or 24, wouldn't he? It's just I don't even know what to talk about because there's just so much India.
To talk about the 5th Test match, the great things for India is Shubman Gill scored another 100. Rohit Sharma scored a brilliant 100 in Dharamshala, and then Ashwin's 5 for Kuldeep Yadav's magical run. So he made his debut in the same ground, and it's him coming back to the same ground and picking player of the match. It's like another dream run for him. And in England's point of view, James Anderson's 700 wickets. That's one hell of an achievement for a fast bowler at 41.
Yeah.
700 wickets is like, to put in the context, he picks wicket in 116.4 overs.
Mm-hmm.
See, a fast bowler bowling 116.4 overs in a wicket is...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But this is the thing. I, as an English man, am reluctant to talk about England too much. But obviously, in a series review, we will do. But I just want to... There's so much Bazball chat goes on. There's so much, focus on the style of play, whether we should be playing Bazball or block ball. I get to see that on Twitter sometimes. When really what we should be doing is going, India are just just unassailable in their home conditions, and they should be praised for that. And England chat just seems to detract from that a little bit. So Rohit got another ton, goes under the radar. Shubman Gill allegedly has been out of form. Is that a second ton of the series? Plus he made a 90
in the
third test. He looked pretty imperious. They found another good batter in Padikkal. He was just there to also be good, which is just relentless.
Yeah.
Khan was good. It's going back to the 4th test. Jarrell did his thing. Basically saved the game for India. Set up the win for them. But I suppose we'll talk about that in the second half when Luke returns. It's just, as a England supporter, the best way of sort of displaying and putting into words the feelings of sort of just relentlessness when you watch India play, when India are your opposition, is that you think, oh, we've got Jaiswal out, who, by the way, is like Bradman numbers this series. Got Jaiswal out, even got Rohit out, even got Gill out. We reduced them to I think 3 down in the third test, was it? We had them 33 for 3, or was it the second test?
No, I think in the third test.
It was in the third test.
In the third test, where they picked the first 3 wickets and then Rohit Sharma
was dropped. Sharma was dropped
by Root.
But we got Jaiswal out, we'd got Gill out, we'd got, I think it will have been
Rajat
Patidar out, and you're like licking your lips. But you still got to get Rohit out. If you drop Rohit, then it's kind of, he's going to punish you every day of the week. You've got Jadeja just sort of turn up, get 100 himself. Oh, it's just unrelenting. And then you've got to face Bumrah afterwards. And if he's not on, you've got to face Kuldeep Yadav, turning it miles, left arm wrist spinner. You've got Ashwin just doing his thing. And it's just, there's just no let up. You maybe got, it was second test, you got Mukesh for like 3 overs, then he'd be brought off, and then it'd be back to back to hell for the English batters. I don't know how they won the test match, to be honest. They've got to get a bit more credit for that.
You talked about the relentlessness in India in home conditions. So it's our 7th consecutive test series win in India, which is the highest by any team. So the next best is 10 by Australia. Mm-hmm. So it shows the value of this current Indian team. Yeah. And the thing is, nowadays, most of all the foreign batters, foreign players have experience of playing it in India because of the IPL. Mm-hmm. So it's not about the conditions. So everyone knows the Indian conditions well.
Okay. It is a bit though.
Yeah, everyone knows the Indian conditions well nowadays. So they play IPL for a month of a period in all parts of India. So to put in the context, the second test was in Vizag, and 6 of the England players played a test in Vizag, whereas in India only 2 players played a test in Vizag before. It shows that conditions are not a matter.
I'm not having that. No. They've been brought up playing in India their lives.
But they haven't played test match in Vizag, whereas England players, 6 of England players played test in Vizag.
Okay, when India next tour, I will be saying, well, they...
we never complain about the conditions.
Pujara... Well, I'm not moaning about it. I'm just saying India do have an advantage from knowing the conditions. I'm not having that suggested.
Absolutely.
That they don't.
The players like Pujara or Shai Sudarshan, they played for the county crickets. But still, you said that you are not whining, but I heard whining from the legendary Cook after the 5th test match. He told that players are very tired and got some roast from the cricketers like Michael Vaughan or Adam Gilchrist.
No, I don't think that's... I think that's harsh.
Yeah.
I think... So what Cook was saying, Ryan...
Cook said players were tired because of it's a month-long tour. And he also added that it's not only England, not winning away from the home. It's also India, who lastly won a test series in England in 2007. So it's same with all other teams. And he supports his team like after losing the series. The thing is, we came to England last series and we drew the series 2-2. So even before, if the 5th match was cancelled because of the COVID, if the match didn't cancel, I'm sure we will win we won that series with margin of 3-1 with the form we had at that time.
Well, that's a separate debate. That happened. That happened 3 years ago. Let's
move on from that.
Well, no. I want to pick you up on the Cook. What Cook said it was a TNT Sport coverage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he was more commenting on the relentlessness, the human element of being away from home for months on end. Like they'd been in, I think, Abu Dhabi beforehand in a training camp. And they've been in India since all of January, all of February, a third, I suppose, of March. So 2.5 months in total, probably. I don't think Cook was commenting on physical tiredness.
Mental tiredness.
I think it's mental strength. Not mental strength. I think it's just mental health, I suppose. Probably will deteriorate a little bit. And I think there might have been a little thought of, I just want to get home for a bit, go and see the kids for I don't know. I think Stokesy's got kids and a wife. Just as one example, I don't know from the top of my head who else has got a family, but I doubt he's the only England player with a family. It's not an excuse. It's just more of an explanation as to why we maybe folded a little bit at the end there. Series gone. Like, if the series wasn't gone, I would have been surprised if we'd... I mean, I would not... I mean, we probably still would have lost, but I would have been very surprised if we'd folded in the way that they did in that... I suppose it was a run chase, even though it was only the third innings of the match.
Yeah.
I think it's not an excuse, but I think there's I think that's a valid reason as to why we folded like we did.
Yeah, I completely understand the family, personal matters. I don't know about England, but whenever India toured the other countries, BCCI allowed to take their families with them. If there is a month-long tour. I don't know about England, but I saw James Anderson's father in the...
Oh yeah, they will. It's not like they're not allowed. It's just, if a kid's got school, they've got school at home. It's literally it's not to do with being able to do it financially or whatever. It's just to do with the logistics of existing.
Yeah, I know. Above
when you
all,
have a family,
we are all the humans. We have a family.
Yeah.
But I still, as you said, that's not an excuse because they are professional players.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not. That's not the reason they folded. It's maybe just an explanation. It's not. It's not a like. Oh, that's a thing. Therefore, they should be fully let off. But I think we just, they've got families. It is just a sport. Like, oh well.
And also, so if we talk about the fifth Test match, I think the pitch doesn't do much. When compared to...
Oh, the pitch was fine.
Fine.
Yeah, the pitch was
but
fine.
I don't know
it's
why...
not a pitch, chat.
Yeah, but I don't know why England didn't play for more than 60 overs in both the innings.
Well, they got Ashwind.
It's because of their mindset of not... Because Bairstow just come and took... He didn't show an intent to play for more than 30 balls. I don't know why. It's because of his mindset, or is there anything behind that? Was he practiced for the IPL? So, whereas in India... The top three batters have shown their resilience and batted, and two of the top three batters scored 100. That's finishes the match at the end of day 2. I put a status in story in Instagram after the day 2. Will it be a second innings defeat for the England?
Oh yeah, that was obvious by the end of day 2. Yeah. That was a guarantee, unfortunately.
So I have a question for you. Do you know against whom England got a first innings defeat? Baseball got a first innings defeat.
The other team. So it's India, South Africa, Lords, wasn't it?
South African Lords.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah.
That was 2022. I don't remember where I was then. I don't know why I can't. Because I have a really weird thing where I can't remember that South Africa series at all, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I just was away time, or something. But
Alex Lees was the opener for England.
Yeah, no. So one of definitely my best memory of baseball, having also been to watch them play away in New Zealand, was actually at Trent Bridge, day 5. England chased, I can't quite remember how many it was, and Lees, they chased about maybe 250, 280, something like that.
Okay. Will this series last gives other team a glimmer of hope to beat this England side anytime, anywhere? Well, now the basketball approach is slightly faltering. So I'm sure this will give the other teams a confidence when they're facing England next time.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely playing. If England are away, teams shouldn't be too worried about us. I would say. I think people, but I am still very much in defence of, maybe not baseball, but of the England side. They've still got a lot of credit in the bank. They're a hell of a lot better than they were before Brendan McCullum took over. I don't know, whether they should be batting more aggressively, or people talking about positivity, talking about, but should they be more defensive? So it's an endless debate with no one really knows the answer. Yeah, I think that that all needs to we all just need to calm down about the whole, like, how are England approaching the way they play cricket. Like, it's not that deep. Like, it's fine. It's okay if they're being positive or if they're not being positive, if they want to play defensively. And, you know, everyone sort of gets bogged down in what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they're going about it. Touring sides in England, I think, will still struggle. I back England to beat the West Indies and Sri Lanka when they tour in the summer. I mean, sure, Shamar Joseph will be very dangerous on English surfaces. He'll be by far West Indies' biggest threat, and it'll be great to see him play.
Yeah.
And I don't want to come across as like English arrogance, but it's good for the game that West Indies look to be, you know, maybe making a bit of a return to the glory days.
I think when the last time West Indies toured England, they won the series 1-0, right?
They might have done. Because Shy Hope got an unbelievable turn.
Yeah, I think that's the last series of Joe Root's captaincy. After that, Ben Stokes.
So that was no, I'm thinking of a different thing. That was in the West Indies.
Really? Okay.
That was in the West Indies 2022 sort of February tour, February, March, so around this time 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We drew the first two tests on roads, and then we collapsed in India, and West Indies won the third test. They really were dark days.
And then the rest is history. Bass took the chance.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the point we've come to. Is on paper we should have been beating the West Indies, and we lost that series. Since then, we've beaten New Zealand at home, beaten South Africa at home, won 3-0 in Pakistan. That's a forgotten series. That's like unheard of to win all three games. There's usually a draw in there. And then
won the fifth test match against India in I think in Trent Bridge and Manchester.
Yeah, won that. So that was also in 2022 summer, wasn't it? Yeah. And then on to 2023, drew in New Zealand, should have won the second test, really. That was very fine margins. We would have won the Ashes had it not rained in Manchester. And we can talk. Any Australians want to come on and tell me why I'm wrong, by all means do, because I know I'm right about that. And then it's this tour, which obviously has been they have failed.
Yeah, I know. I can feel what you're currently experiencing right now. When your team is losing a series or losing a most important match, there will be a lot of questions asking to them.
Yeah.
But if you are thinking about if they won the series, I'm sure there will be a lot of heaps of prizes for the baseball. So as you said, rightly, England will not need to worry about the series loss, and they're just focusing on winning the home test summer. Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Exactly. Like we're 8th in the World Test Championship. I don't understand how it works, but so they need to do something about that. Something needs to change on that front.
It's basically every team has to play for a minimum of 6 test series.
Yeah.
And each match has, if you win a test match, you will get 12 points.
Yeah.
So with the percentage of points you get, the top 2 teams will qualify for the finals.
Yeah.
And to be honest, in this year also, India and Australia is going to play the finals. I think so.
Yeah, no, they will. Yeah. They will. I'm not disputing that. So how come, Ryan? Again, my biasness coming out in force. New Zealand are third, even though we beat them at home and drew away.
Mm-hmm.
That probably wasn't in the same cycle, though, was it? So the draw probably was in the same cycle.
From the Ashes, the English WTC cycle starts.
So, but then we drew the Ashes. So Australia are second, and we drew the series, and we're unlucky to win that series. And then we've lost to India, which happens to everyone.
Yeah, but because Australia...
How has it worked out that we're doing so badly when we've drawn with third and second in the table?
Australia won 6 test matches after that. Yeah. Whereas England won only 1 test match against India in the 5.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.
So we, in theory, should win our 4 or 5 of the home test matches in the summer and
then
get ourselves up the table.
then you have a chance of maybe moving towards the fourth or
Yeah,
third place to the table.
yeah,
The thing is, India is unbeatable in the home series. So
Yeah.
basically, in a season, we almost had 10 or 11 test matches, and we won 9 out of those 10 or 11. So
Yeah.
it's basically in this WTC is like India teams battling to play India in the finals.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah, I think I'm not disputing India will be there.
There have been 2 finals
And they
played,
deserve to
and
be
India was
there.
part of a 2.
Yeah, so they need to get across the line. They haven't won one yet, have they? Suppose they keep getting played in England, which probably doesn't
Yeah.
help. Because like Bangladesh are fourth, having played 2 tests in the cycle and won 1, which just feels a bit. We should get buck our ideas up and have a Bangladesh series instead of just not playing them. That's probably on us as much as anything.
So will England have any series in Bangladesh in this season?
I doubt we do. I doubt we tour Bangladesh, and that's where we're going wrong. We should be respecting teams like Bangladesh.
Yeah, I think Bangladesh is one of the
And Sri
toughest
Lanka.
place to tour and win a test match.
Yeah. Well, no one bothers, basically.
They have some great spinners with them.
Yeah. To be fair, England have had 19 points deducted for slow over
Because
rate.
slow rate.
That says quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, we'd be higher up if it wasn't for that. Well, this is the thing. It's more because, unlike most England supporters, when Luke returns from work or gets here from work, I'll be interested to see what he thinks about the World Test Championship.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it's great. I love the idea of winning the World Test Championship.
Yeah, because of the
And I
World
don't
Test.
think England fans do in general.
Why? I think because of the World Test Championship, India took the 5th Test very seriously.
Yeah.
If there's no World Test Championship, so already we won a series, they need to be lethargic and they give some chances to the younger players.
Yeah.
So because of the World Test Championship, every test matters.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great one to have.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's probably not being successful yet, but I think it hopefully will become successful. I think it deserves to become successful.
It's not as successful as like the ODI tournament.
Yeah,
But still, to every cricketer, Test cricket is the pinnacle of a format.
yeah,
And to be fair, New Zealand won their first ever international ICC tournament in the WTC first season.
yeah, exactly. I just think it's good fun. And so, okay, I'm gonna say something, right? Because I've been dreaming up a totally what's the word? Fantastical idea, which wouldn't work logistically. It wouldn't work, okay? But I think it'd be fun. It's fun to discuss. Was to have a test match actual cricket World Cup with tests. I just think would be the most unbelievable sort of it'd have to last over like 4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah.
Just slog of just endless cricket. I would just absolutely love it. So if you did if you brought in maybe a couple of the smaller nations, so maybe like, the Netherlands and Ireland to make up, to have a 12-team tournament, who would you have? You'd have Netherlands, Ireland, you need one more.
I think Netherlands is not getting a test, still
But
not yet to get a test status.
This is the point. Okay, the problem is you'd have to, if you wanted a group stage, you'd have to play sort of
And the other
ridiculous
thing is,
games where one team's guaranteed to win. But I just think it would be, I don't know how you'd do it, because in terms of whoever's at home has a ridiculous advantage. So I don't know how it would.
That's an exciting thought, but test matches plays for 5 days, and if you say we have a 10-team or 8-team tournament, then we need to block out the international calendar for a maximum of 5 or 6 months. And the pitches, so basically in England there's only 5 English test match pitches, so we can only adapt 5 matches at a time.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things to look out for.
Rayan, right? This is totally never happen. I'm aware,
but that's an exciting thought.
that it could never happen. But I just think it would just be like you'd have cricket on every day for about 5 months. It would just be unbelievable.
I would love to watch every match.
And it would be the best thing ever if it somehow was feasible. But obviously it's not feasible. I'm not an idiot. I know it's not feasible.
But as a cricket fan, I would love to watch test match every day.
Imagine.
I prefer test matches rather than the shitty ODI T20s.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I'm sure in June we'll be getting to the T20
World Cups.
T20 World Cup. But maybe you could do like, maybe like, so maybe like Champions League 2 legs, like, you'd have a home and an away leg,
Yeah.
and then if the match is a draw, then it goes down to runs scored or something like that,
That's hard, mate.
or like a just. I don't know how you do it, or I don't know how you do a penalty shootout in Test cricket.
That's harsh to the bowlers. So in Test cricket, I think you need to celebrate the bowlers rather than the batsmen. So maybe because
fair point.
number of wickets taken.
Yeah. How would that? So if you both, so the problem with that is if one team wins the home leg and then the other team wins their home leg, then they've taken the same. You could start with wickets. And then it's endless, endless problems. There are endless
problems. A lot of problems. I think that's why this WTC closely sums up the thought of yours. Like it's similar to the home and away test series.
Mm-hmm.
Each team plays 3 home, 3 away, and at the end of 6 test series, the top 2 teams plays the final. So it's similar to the kind of thoughts you put in.
Oh yeah, this is as close as we're going to get to a test match World Cup. But I just think a full blown 5-month-long tournament with cricket on every day would just turn me on. We've completely gone off on a tangent there. We've been talking for half an hour.
And only few about the test match.
I'm inclined to have a break.
Okay.
Luke can come in hopefully soon and steady the ship, and we'll actually. I mean, we've done that 5th test review in brief. I don't think there's much more to say, just because so many other outlets have spoken about it more, like probably with a lot more knowledge than we do. So I think we'll come back with Luke in his chair. We'll talk about the whole series, probably speak a bit more about England. We'll inevitably get sucked into a Bazball debate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also want to have a little chat about what's going on down under, because I think it's been a really interesting series. And in this break, I'm probably going to sit and watch the highlights of Carey's innings, but we'll get to that. See you in a moment. Right. Hello. We're back for a series review after the break. Luke has returned from his work placement edge. Luke, how are we?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Well, I'm actually in a great mood today for some reason. I don't really know. Maybe I had jam on toast this morning for breakfast, so maybe that's giving me a bit of a burst of sugar to get me through. We've been talking. I've ended up going on a tangent, Luke. I mentioned briefly about the World Test Championship and about how we should have a Test Match World Cup, and it's all gone a bit out of hand. You've come to hopefully steady the ship in pure Truv Jarrell fashion, and that actually talk about something a bit more sensible. We've covered the last test. We briefly mentioned Anderson 700. Let's start with that because he does deserve. I mean, he's already had a lot of praise in Oz Muppets. So I'm going to do. He won't care about what we think, but he still deserves it.
Yeah, obviously, amazing achievement. I think if people cast their minds back to, 2003 when he started his test career, I think Zimbabwe were the opponents. Nasser Hussain was captain, and Anderson's first over, I read somewhere, went for 17. He was sort of a wiry, fast bowler then, I think, and I know his action's gone through a lot of remodelling over the years, but I read a piece and it said Nasser went up to him after the over and apologised and said, "We should have had a fine leg in place. That's my fault, not yours." And then Anderson went on to take 5 wickets.
There you go.
In the innings.
Magic of fine leg.
And I think he's just sort of testament to what can be achieved through hard work, dedication. He's just a master of his skill, and long may he continue, although I don't know how many overs he's got left in the tank.
Oh, I think we'll be talking about him in 10 years, mate. Talking about his 1,000th wicket.
I hope so. I really hope so.
And I basically agree with what you've just said. I absolutely adore the man. He's probably been my idol since I understood what cricket was. He's just, I always wanted to be a bowler when I was a kid, and I think he had a lot to do with that. So yeah, I mean, long may it continue. I have to try and go and watch him this summer before he does. Surely hang up his boots at some point, but who knows? The way we've been talking about him hanging up his boots for probably about 5 years or something now. Like,
I think not only yours, Will, he also inspired a kid who is far 30,000 kilometers far away from the
Yeah.
England, like
Yeah.
me. So basically most of the Indian kids just try to replicate the Anderson way of bowling. He's so good. And sadly, I went to 2 test matches which England played in India, and Anderson was in part of those test matches. I was very, very disappointed with that. Hopefully, I will get the tickets for the first test match of the summer, and Anderson will pick a fifer against the team
West Indies,
West
I
Indies
think it is.
in July.
Yeah. Before we go more series as a whole, we didn't mention it before. Stokes did bowl. He did get a wicket first ball. It was the only good thing that happened for England all test match. Stokes, I was talking about, we'll come to Stokes in the first half in a bit more depth. I was having my Weetabix at about 6:20 in the morning when he took that wicket. I gave out a little screech, hoping that my flatmate or the person I was staying with wouldn't wake up. It was basically the only good thing that happened apart from the 700 wickets all test.
Yeah, I think Stokes sort of reminded us of what he can do and most of all what we're missing.
Yeah.
And I think this is sort of as Stokes enters, I don't want to say the twilight of his career, but he's not getting any younger. I think he is still capable of producing those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to do it over a sustained period of 5 test series, I think it's going to be difficult. We obviously, with the bat, the series, I mean, I think he only averaged 19.
Yep.
Ashwin was all over him. But then, saying this, I think in the English summer, I wouldn't be surprised if he smashes hundreds.
Yeah.
But it's just difficult because India, big away tours are where you really get judged.
Yeah, and I suppose, if you have to be brutal. They have lost 4-1 and he hasn't got any runs effectively. Why do you think he came on? Because it was just a bit of they were already nearly 300 odd, India. It was a bit of these are all crap. Let me do it.
Desperation, maybe.
Yeah, and I suppose it worked a little bit.
And
opened the door.
I think he has been bowling a bit in the net, so I think he is getting back to full fitness. But obviously, he has to manage his workload. And do you guys think the series outcome would have been any different if he could bowl his full allocation?
I don't think so.
I think he would. I think it would have made a bit of a difference.
Yeah, England could have had
another option.
Yeah, much more balanced team. You could maybe play another batter.
What's the criteria? He would have been able to bowl maybe 15 overs an innings or something like that, should we say? If we had that option, first of all, they wouldn't have bothered picking Robinson in that 4th test at all.
Very true.
I mean, you could argue, but he scored 50. But I was wrong. I said before the 4th test, I think Robinson might be quite good. He was obviously pretty dog shit. So I was wrong about that. But I think he has been a big miss with his bowling. He showed, he only bowled, 5 or 6 overs in the end?
5 overs.
5 overs. And he was obviously doing that ball he bowled to dismiss Rohit Sharma was just an absolute peach. It was just absolutely perfect bowling on that surface. If we'd had him for a decent amount in every innings, who knows? And it would have I doubt we would have won based purely off that. But it might have made a difference. It would have made a difference, I think.
I think we have to be careful though and remember India were also missing a lot of their big hitters for the whole series and some of them for part of it. I mean, I think England, the disappointing thing was in the 2nd test, obviously 1-0 up, Jadeja's injured. I think that was really the big opportunity that we missed. And then letting India back in, we all know how good they are in their own conditions. And yeah, they end up running away with it 4-1.
Yeah. So second test was Jaiswal's double ton.
Double ton.
And then
Absolutely.
it all feels like it
Shubman
happened
Gill's-
about 2 years ago. Gill get
91.
100? So Gill got his 90.
Yeah. The second innings.
They won by what? 300?
No. India won by some 40, 49 or 50 runs.
Okay, that was the second test, yeah.
Yeah, Stokes got run out because he was jogging. That was that. That really upset me, actually. I saw it. I was scrolling through my Twitter, I think it was stuff I'd reposted or something, and I just put above it, I feel sick on that one because it was awful. So yeah, series review chat. We've already drifted into it. I'm going to do quick fire, player of the series, bowler, and bat of the series. Ryan, what's your player, bowler, and I suppose, I mean, we all know, and bat of the series. Just go on.
From both the teams, or I have to pick?
We'll just say as a whole.
As
first.
a whole,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's Indian players, presumably.
Absolutely. Batter of the series is none other than Ashbery Jaiswal.
Yeah.
Scored 700 plus runs in a 5-match test series. And the bowler of the series is quite little bit tough to pick.
Yeah.
I would say Ravi Ashwin. Because
Yeah.
it's his, he came back
Yeah.
after what he going through with the mentally.
Yep.
He came back superbly with the 2 fifers in his last 3 innings and took India to the win. So Ravi
Yeah.
Ashwin is my bowler of the series.
Yeah, fair. And he averaged 24. I remember reading that just a moment ago. So player of the series presumably is Jaiswal. That's what they went. That's what the actual official one was picked as, and it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Luke, it's obviously Jaiswal, isn't it? But what about the bowler?
Yeah, I can't look past Jaiswal as batter and player of the series.
Yeah.
Ashwin, I think he's just come from nowhere, as Ryan says. He ends up top wicket taker, 26 in the series. We weren't really talking about him until the 4th match.
Yeah.
But that just shows how good he is. But for me, I would say Jasprit Bumrah.
I agree with Bumrah.
19 wickets at basically 17 apiece.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Head and shoulders above any seamer who's bowled in the series, English or Indian.
Yep.
Special mention to Kuldeep as well. I thought he's just a wicket taker, isn't he? And it's just good to see a wrist spinner doing so well in India.
Yeah.
I want to mention an England player at least.
Zach Crawley did all right.
Yeah, so Zach Crawley, 407 runs at 40.
Yeah.
I think he would have snatched your hand off that for that at the start of the series.
Yeah.
But 450s, no hundreds, if you want to be really critical. And I think...
If you want to go all Michael Vaughan.
Yeah, but I think if you're going to win the series out in India, okay, he's had a good series.
Yeah.
But to have a great series, the likes of Alistair Cook would be turning those 50s into hundreds. So
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I don't dispute that at all. Well, you don't have to look as far back as Cook. You can look as far back as Jaiswal on the other team. When he got to 100, he killed us. He killed us with his just continued aggression. Did he get 2 double tons?
2 double tons.
And then he didn't actually get just a ton. He just got 2 double tons.
2 double tons.
Yeah.
And mostly, I think he
Crazy.
failed to score 50 in only 2 test innings.
He averaged 89. It's pure Bradman numbers.
yeah, 26
Bradman.
sixes hit.
Yeah,
I think his strike rate was 80, which is phenomenal as well. Talk about Bazball, talk about Duckett. The Indians are learning from us. I mean, I think...
Take some notes.
Yes,
England
learn
batters.
from Jaiswal.
Yeah.
Ask what he's having for breakfast.
Yeah. So Jaiswal, I've just pulled up his Test match career on Cricket Info. He's played 9 matches. He's already got 1,028 runs in 9 games. So run the 9 times 10, so 90 tests to get to to get to 10,000 runs if he continues like this.
Hopefully he will.
And hopefully for you, especially Rayan. So I'm not so sure if I want him to do so well.
Has he been tested outside India yet? Right?
Yeah, his
He
debut,
got a ton in West Indies,
yeah,
didn't
his
he?
debut was in
To
West
be
Indies.
fair, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
His next,
We'll get him on a green pitch at Trent Bridge
yeah,
and see what he does.
His next best test is in the December in Down Under.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will score
That's
2 double
huge
tens
for him.
against
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. So he averages 68.53 in tests. 89 in this series is, I think, the number I read. 300s already, 450s. Strike rate 70. If I'm just going to keep going here. And yeah, Bumrah. I'd say Bumrah's been better than Ashwin just because, first of all, a lot of those wickets in the 5th test, it was a dead rubber, where Bumrah won that spell he bowled of reverse swing. Was it the 3rd test?
No, in the second test.
Or in the 2nd test.
Where Ravindra Jadeja was absent.
Yeah, and he just knocked us over with. It wasn't like England batters got themselves out playing stupid shot. He got them out with just genius bowling.
The Yacker to Ollie Pope.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
the ball of the
exactly.
series.
That is probably the ball of the series. Yeah, and it was just like I was sat there just thinking, oh, fairs mate, that's just obscene.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's Bumrah as well.
What do you guys think is the turning point of the series? I think
That spell, it was that spell for me.
Is also. I think
Yeah.
the inclusion of Kuldeep Yadav is the turning point of the series. I think
Yeah.
Kuldeep played 4 tests for India in the series, and India won all the 4.
Yep.
So that's a brave decision for Rohit and Rahul to drop a spinner like Akshar
Yeah.
and brought Kuldeep into the mix.
It's paid off
Yeah.
perfectly.
Completely forget about Axar, don't you? I mean, I'm sure he could have caused some damage himself, but I think Kuldeep was obviously the right
Axar's-
pick.
Well vindicated.
Akshar is a player like he can walk into any team in the world if he's not in India.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so
I mean,
we'd
yeah,
have him.
yeah, exactly. If he's not in your team, we're having.
Has he got an English grandparent? So yeah, it was India's series. Luke, I was determined to stress before you arrived just how let's not get sucked into a baseball debate completely. England were just beaten by a far better cricketing side in Indian conditions anyway.
Yeah.
And that's just let's do the baseball chat. Let's do it. Come on. I feel like you're itching to
Can I start first?
Yeah, go on.
go for it.
I think Test cricket is like a marathon. You need to treat that like a marathon. If you have a mindset of running a marathon like a 100-meter race, you won't even finish the race, let alone winning. So I think the number of balls faced by the English batters shows how their resilience in that test series. Kuldeep Yadav faced, I think, 362 balls, which is only 5 lesser than Stokes, who played 10 innings, whereas Kuldeep played only 6 innings.
Yeah.
And Johnny Bairstow faced only, I think, 290 balls in 10 innings, whereas Dhruv Jurel batted 4 innings and batted for more than 350 balls. So it shows, England batters didn't have that intent of batting for the long period of time in test matches. I think only Joe Root, Ben Foakes, and Zach Raleigh had that intent throughout the series. Joe Root came to the party at the late of the series. If he had this form at the start, I think that'll make some kind of difference in the results. But I think the approach of baseball is, as Bass himself said in the Telegraph, they were timid at the end of the series. Bass himself admitted in the Telegraph.
Yeah.
So I think they're now just take a break, and before the home summer they will work around how to improve the baseball, how to improve the techniques, how to approach the team better.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ryan. I think we shouldn't do away with the approach altogether, and we shouldn't become sitting ducks again. I think the way Crawley and Duckett have played at the top of the order has been positive. I know Duckett's shot in this game in Ashwin's first over was not particularly pretty. But I think the key word is adaptability. So there are times in Test cricket where it's going to be tough and you really need to dig in. And I think that's the shame with this team is, although we weren't expected to come to India and win, just few of the games to be a bit closer and sort of to have a few more people putting their name up and sort of showing that determination. I know obviously they're out in India for, I think it was 7 weeks. It was a long time away from home. I know obviously they'll be staying in expensive hotels. They get to go on their golf breaks midway through the series, but it's still a long time to be away from home. And I think in the last game they were all auditioning for "I'm an English cricketer, get me out of here."
That's great cricket. That's great.
Yeah,
cricketer.
that's a great.
reference.
Day
Trademark.
three, right? And
Yeah.
we just sort of limped, gave it to them, which was a bit disappointing.
Finish
Yeah,
early and want to
was.
return to England as soon as possible.
Well, Johnny's got to get back to panel GC to break his leg again.
Yeah,
Let's obviously hope that doesn't. That was a joke. I obviously don't want that to happen.
I
but-
think the same question sort of exists, right? I think Bairstow, I would be amazed if he's sort of still in the plans. I think it might be time for him to go. But then Folkes, yeah, he kept brilliantly, but again, there's still questions over his batting. Potentially, there's a guy who plays for Somerset called James Rue. He's a wicket-keeper batsman who scored 1,000 runs in the County Championship last summer.
Nice.
He looks like an amazing prospect.
Oh, that's great.
He's only 19.
I saw him hit a drive on Twitter.
Yes.
That's that
Yeah,
guy.
left-handed batsman.
Okay.
So I think he's got to be in the long-term plans. I think folks showed the value of having your best wicketkeeper in India, but in England, is he going to get you enough runs to justify being the number 7 in the side? I think it's going to be difficult.
Who knows? Because it might end up just being Bairstow again.
Did he score?
Bairstow 7, Brook at 5.
Yeah, Brooks got to come back.
It's obviously Brooks. Brooks like second man on the team sheet behind Root basically at this stage.
Did Folkes score a Test century before?
Yeah, he scored one in India, I think. No, he didn't.
I don't
no, he
think
didn't. No, he didn't. He got one. Has he got? He has got one. He's got one on the subcontinent somewhere, I think.
Maybe Sri Lanka.
Oh,
I'll have a look.
Sri Lanka is the place. Like England have never lost Test series for I think 6 years.
Yeah, well, that was the series. I can't remember, but Root just got millions
Millions
and
of
millions and
Just
millions of runs.
swept them to death, I remember. So, yeah, he has 2 Test hundreds. Does it tell me who they were against? It doesn't tell me.
And I think
it doesn't tell
I also
me.
remembered Luke asking after the second test, is there any wicket keepers other than KS Bharat? I think we found the answer for that in this series.
Yeah, you're right. I knew there'd be someone somewhere.
He's brilliant. Jurel, man.
Jurel,
I mean-
he's been the find of the series for India.
Yeah, when will Pant be back? Is there a known timescale on that?
I think maybe, hopefully, he will be in the mix for the team against Australia. I don't know how much it takes. But that's the source telling that he's going to play the IPL as a pure batter. Let's see.
Yeah. Let's. Is there what have we missed anything this series?
I was going to just mention Ollie Pope. And I think without that 196,
There'd be a lot
there'll
of
be a
question
lot
marks.
of questions. And
Yeah.
batting number 3 for any country, 1 down is your best batsman, right? And obviously that 196 he played magnificently, but if you take that out, I think he's only averaging about 13.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think I think he is our best option, and I think he's still young and he's still learning. But I think we need a bit more consistent numbers from our number 3.
Yeah. That's the thing. He probably played. You could definitely argue he played the innings of the series,
Yeah,
But,
that's one of the best innings by a visiting batsman in India.
and it's definitely the best
Yeah.
innings from an English bat by
I
miles.
think-
But
Yeah, that shows how talented he is, but you've heard a lot of people say he is a nervous starter,
Mm.
and you saw that a few times, like a bit frantic. So
Pretty much the last 4 tests.
Yeah,
he
so I
looked
don't
like
think
that.
it's a ability thing. I think it's obviously a mental thing,
Yeah.
and him and some coaches are going to have to do some work on
Get
that.
to work, I suppose. Right, I want to do a quick. I haven't watched any of it, but I just thought it was quite funny that New Zealand once again didn't beat Australia at all at home. I think they haven't beaten them in 31 years now. Just what a remarkable knock by Carey, 98.
Oh God.
98 red, and Cummins,
31.
Cumball getting his 30 odd. And it was Mitch Marsh got 80,
80.
wasn't it? So yeah, fair play to the baggy greeners for still being just
I think
really good.
Australia is a team, they can find a way of winning from nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but they are still managed to win after losing 5 wickets for 120 or 130.
They
I
were
don't know.
80 for 5,
Oh shit!
I think.
I think
Yeah.
that's a hard to come back. But Alex Carey, as you said, played one of his best innings in the Test cricket. I think he's the second best. His 98 is the second best score for a wicket keeper in 4th innings, after the legend Adam Gilchrist, and Pat Cummins and 4th innings chases are match made in heaven.
Yeah. I know a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
Edgbaston. I was in
Edgbaston.
Australia for that.
Oh,
But, oh well.
that's And before that, I don't know, you guys saw that video of fan chanting against baseball to Johnny Bairstow in Dharamshala. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. He just made up the lyrics of the English chant everywhere we go and made his own version of battering bash ball. If you guys get no offense from that, I would love to sing that. But
No, we won't. We'll be able to handle that. Last thing was there was an argument between Gill and Bairstow, which is quite funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little type of what was said, and then we can talk about what was said.
I think I've got some kind of idea of it.
I think Gill asking Anderson, we're getting tired of bowling so long spells, you're aging 41 something.
Yeah, hang on. We've gone into a Wisden article, see if they've got the full transcript. Here we go. Johnny Bairstow, what did you say to Jimmy about him retiring? Shupman Gill, I told him he should retire. Bairstow, and then he got you out next ball. Gill, so what? How many times has Bairstow? I was just asking. Gill, he can get me out. He can get me out after my 100. Bairstow, 100%. Gill, how many hundreds do you have this series? Bairstow, how many have you scored full stop? So that's absolute scenes. Absolute sheer aggression.
Yeah, Shubman Gill
According to some of these reports, it doesn't sound that amazing.
Shubman Gill took a note of this, and he will score minimum of 200s in the next home summer in England.
Gill will definitely have more tons than Bairstow by the 23rd 100 test. Let's just leave that there, I think.
I think they both had a point, to be fair. I don't mind seeing that. I think
I'm glad Bairstow's giving it some, but...
Yeah, but it's also, I think it's indicative of a player who knows he might be on the way out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really had confidence, I don't think you'd bother getting into these exchanges with Gill, who's early 20s?
22 or 21.
Yeah, rattled.
A little bit rattled, I suppose, yeah. I have a job interview in 20 minutes, so I think it's time to wrap up. That is the end of the test series. That is the end of our coverage of the test series. If you want something which actually provides insight, perhaps listen to a different podcast, like the TMS podcast. But we hope to have at least provided some kind of entertainment throughout the series. Again, if you're actually listening to this point, a massive thank you, because I think you're probably a select few. Thank you so much for listening throughout the series. If you have, do you want to say a quick note, Ryan and Luke?
Yeah. thanks to everyone for listening to us throughout the series. It's been a great series for us. Hopefully, we'll entertain you guys after the test series also.
Yeah, guys, really enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with us. I've really enjoyed doing it, and we hope to cover some more cricket in the future, and get better and better.
Yeah, I think it's going to be IPL chat and whatever else goes on in world cricket, probably a broader scope in the coming weeks. Hopefully I can finally pull my finger out and get an Instagram/TikTok account going. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Console Cricket, or just type in Cricket Council Podcast and we probably will come up. Also, remember to subscribe on YouTube. Again, just type in Cricket Council Podcast with the green logo. We have been the Cricket Council. England have been beaten 4-1. India are good at cricket. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.